Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Novia Anggraeni. I come from Indonesia University of Education, majoring special education, and now I am 19 years old. By now, I would like to present my paper titled Inclusive Education Based on Nusantara Local Wisdom as a Foundation of Implementation Education for All in Indonesia. The theme of education for all as the topic of my paper is because we believe that education is really important in our life, and what we are now is what kind of education quality that we already received and we experienced in our past. So with the background itself, why we should implement the inclusive education that based on Nusantara local wisdom in Indonesia is because first that education system in Indonesia is not child friendly yet, because we can see that there are a lot of children in Indonesia are dropped out, and then the high rate of dropout children in Indonesia is still increasing years by years. And second is an even distribution of good quality of education in Indonesia is really such a big disparity between the quality education in the rural area and the urban area. The third is the national pride of Indonesian citizenry is start to be degrading. Indonesian citizenry start to abandon what are the real value of Indonesia. So, what is inclusive education? Inclusive education is educational system that really make all of the children in all area possible to get a good quality of education. In year 2000, Indonesia already challenged to implement inclusive education, and then now 13 years already passed. So we still immature and raw to implement what are the inclusive education that are really suitable for Indonesian people and Indonesian environment. As we are still seeking for a best implementation of inclusive education, we are now looking for what already implemented inclusive education in developed country, and then we try to imitate. The imitation is really implemented in Indonesia, same like we are already lose our culture and our identity, because the inclusive education itself, based on SUSTAP 2002, say that inclusive education must be based on local culture and values. So if we imitate and fully imitate what kind of inclusive education that already implemented in a developed country, means that we already lose our identity of national, because what are inclusive education in developed country is really based on their own local values and characteristics. And if we try to imitate the inclusive education implementation of theirs to ours, same like just we adapt their culture, we adapt the characteristic into our characteristic that is really totally different. The best blueprint to implement inclusive education in Indonesia is that it's gonna be from Indonesia itself, because what we already believe that inclusive education must be based on local culture and values. So means that Indonesian implementation of inclusive education also must be based of our local values and culture. That's why the authors try to elaborate what kind of values and culture, what kind of values and wisdom that Indonesian already have to be adapted and implement in our inclusive education in Indonesia as the concept, as the foundation. Those values are gotong royong as the mutual aid value. The second is ramah tamah as the sway value, and the third is Bhinneka Tunggal Ika as the unity and diversity value. As we believe that those three values are really represent our people and really represent our identity of nation. So we can try and we can make it possible to make those three values as the foundation in implementing inclusive education in Indonesia that really friendly to Indonesian people and environment. Those three kinds of values are already taught to us since our elementary school age, and it was just limited as a dogma. Why as a dogma? Because we can see that it's only a theory, and nowadays we we rare to see that it already implemented in our social life, in our daily life, and we just start to see that nowadays people are trying to be more selfish and then more to be more individualist, not like our past days. And so by that, I would like to propose it. I would like to propose the ideas. Why don't we try to make those three kinds of values as the foundation in our educational system? So by that we could have an inclusive education system based on our own culture, our own values, and our own characteristics. So by that we just already made that the education system that already and has to be friendly to all of Indonesian people, Indonesian government, Indonesian environment. So by that those dogma we have to culturize it, we have to make it true, we have to elaborate that to our daily life and our social life. So we make it as our needs, not just a theory that already passed by to over generations. So we may reborn as Indonesian soul people by inclusive education system based on Nusantara wisdom that really friendly to our life and our people. So by that, thank you very much for your attention and your patience to watch my video. And by that, I will say thanks to all of the people that already support me and for our university staff. And then the last word from me, Chikai Motonoshimi ni Matane.